Welcome to the Neil Haley Show with a special simulcast with Storehouse Media Group and Dr. Gilda Carle. I'm Sherrie Clark, and we're excited about our guest today. It's Kevin Sorbo. Welcome, Kevin.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's exciting. So when I tell people and I say your name, the first thing that comes to their mind is, oh, that's that Hercules dude. And I'm like, yeah, that's what they associate you with. But what they don't know is that show was the most watched television show in the world, wasn't it?
176 countries. I lived down in New Zealand there for 7 years, and it was obviously it was a without that show, I wouldn't have had all these other wonderful things happen to me down the road, especially doing these movies that I've been doing as well. It's interesting you said that those people said, "Oh, that Hercules guy." I get stopped more than anything now. I would say 80% of the time through airports, hotel lobbies, wherever it may be, for movies like God's Not Dead and Soul Surfer and Let There Be Light. That's what people stop me for now more than anything.
Yeah. You have done so much since you've done that. But I want to talk about a movie called What If?
Yes.
That you did with Dallas Jenkins 15 years ago. Dallas Jenkins of The Chosen, before The Chosen. So it's coming back into the theaters 15 years later on August 5th and 7th. So tell us a little bit about the movie and what makes it so special that it's coming back into theaters 15 years later.
Well, I do a lot of speaking events, and over the last 13, 14 years, I talk about that movie. It's the same writers that did God's Not Dead. God's Not Dead was obviously a very huge hit, but my book, What If, is a far better movie. It was really my first, I'd done sort of a faith-based Western called Avenging Angel for Hallmark, and I liked the feel of that movie. So when Dallas Jenkins brought this movie to me to play the role of Dr. Ben, I jumped on it right away. I said, this is one of the best scripts I've ever read. But the trouble with independent movies is, how do you get them out there? How do you get out when Hollywood does $300 million avatars and Pirates of the Caribbean, and they have a $100 million advertising budget? You shoot a $1 million or $2 million movie. You don't have that kind of budget. God's Not Dead was an anomaly. For that to take off, it was all word of mouth. And I'm hoping the same thing can happen with What If, because I'm telling you, I'm kidding you not. I think What If is a far better movie. It's a reverse, It's a Wonderful Life, where my character loves the road he's on, as opposed to Jimmy Stewart's character in one of he doesn't like the road on. He's found out that without him, the people he touched in that town would not have the lives they have today. Me, I like the road I'm on. I go kicking and screaming to this bilateral universe that God wants me to see. And I've got to commit to wanting to really see what it's like. Otherwise, they're not going to send me back until I really give it a go. But as the angel tells me in the form of John Ratzenberger, hey, once it's all done, you can go back to the world you lived in because God gave you free choice. So you can go back if you want to go back. So I just love the movie. The story's great. Christy Swanson plays my wife. She's phenomenal. John Ratzenberger is amazing as this curmudgeon angel. And it's just a wonderful story. And I tell people all the time to rent it. And they noticed that the streaming of it started picking up the last 6 years. So Dallas called me up and said, hey, we're going to re-release this and get this thing back out there, because he loves that movie too. He says it's the best movie he's ever done. Chosen, this is way before he started doing the TV series Chosen.
Have you done a lot of faith-based movies now more than ever? Or has that market dwindled down a little bit?
No, the market's growing all the time. There are a lot of independent producers out there. I've got 4 new movies coming out this year and 3 documentaries, other than What If, that I was in. I was either part of directing, but I'm acting in all of them. I've done over 95 movies now, and I would say about 55 to 60 of those you could put in the faith-based world. I've directed Let There Be Light. I had 2 movies that came out a year ago in theaters. One was based on Jerry Jenkins' books, the Left Behind books, called Left Behind: Rise of the Antichrist. And I directed a movie called Miracle in East Texas, true story set in 1930. And I love doing these kind of movies. To me, I've had people come up to me, ever since God's Not Dead, I've had so many people come up to me and say, I became a Christian because of your movies, which is amazing.
I loved you in that. I loved God's Not Dead. I was sitting in New York for the premiere, and I was just overwhelmed by you, by the movie. It was just sensational. What do you attribute to all of this interest in faith-based movies now?
Because I think we live in a world that's filled with so much anger and so much hate and so much divisiveness, and people are sick of it. There are people that are starting to double down on it, certainly, but a lot of people are fed up with it. And I think that's the reason a lot of these, I think every movie is a faith-based movie. Just to segue a little bit, I've got atheist friends. I go, you have the strongest faith of all. And they go, why is that? Because you believe in nothing. To have that kind of faith to believe in nothing is amazing to me, because I look at the stars and go, I don't know. Somebody made that and it wasn't you or me. It's just, I don't believe you can get something from nothing, but that's just me. But anyway, for people to sit there and stop me and tell me that they want more of these movies, I'm going to keep making them. This What If movie was my what if. I wanted to find out what road I needed to be on, because Hollywood booted me out.
Oh,
About
yeah.
12 years ago. Oh, yeah, they booted me out for being a conservative and being a Christian. That's a bad thing in Hollywood. Every movie I do, the last 6-7 years, I get, whether it's an actor, a director, producer, a camera operator, hair and makeup people, quietly they say, hey, thanks for being a voice for us.
But
I
it's,
go, stop. I
don't
know.
kill
I go,
anybody.
stop being afraid. Don't let fear control your life. That's a government's favorite weapon. You saw it in full cover when COVID came out. You saw them use fear as a weapon, not only in America, but around the world. And people have to stop letting fear rule their lives. The only person you're supposed to fear is God. It's in the Bible. Check it out in Proverbs. But anyway, I just said, this is the road God intended me to be
I
in.
agree.
Here I am.
What was it like to work with Dallas Jenkins? Could you foresee that he had this path and The Chosen and how big it was going to be? Could you see that when you worked with him?
No, I don't think he saw it either. His world was to keep on making movies. And I know he did another couple after me that didn't do so well, and he was ready to give it all up, but he came up with the idea for The Chosen, and that thing just exploded for him. I think, and I'm not kidding when I say he was actually, this was my last try. If it doesn't work, then I'm done. But God, that was Dallas's what if. God said, no, this is the road you're supposed to be on. This is the road to continue. Because I know once he does this, it's finished. I think they got one more season. He's going to go do a mini-series on Moses' life. Then he's going to do David's life. He even wants to do a TV series out of the movie What If. So we'll see what happens with that. But we had a great time. I am. I'm very driven. He's very driven. I started directing back in my Hercules years. So I've been DGA for a long time now, for 28 years now. So I could tell through him. I saw in him a lot of what I was doing. He comes in, he's organized, he's ready to go, he's got his ideas, he's got his focus, he understands camera angles, he understands lighting. Yeah, he's very good at doing those things. We knew we had a good movie, but we knew it was an independent movie at the same time. So we knew how we going to get it out there. But to me, I knew that's what I wanted to do. Look, when Hollywood kicked me out, my wife and I are from Sorbo Studios. I encourage your listeners, go to sorbostudios.com. We have all these things coming down the pipeline. So follow us there. We'll keep in a loop. And I know that Dallas, hopefully that we can work together again soon.
You are our hero, because those of us who are out there, Sherrie, who are out there promoting faith-based, promoting things that the other side doesn't like all that much, continue to give us a lot of pushback. How did you survive all of that?
I did. They kicked me out, but I just said.
But you survived.
Oh, I did. You're right. Because I realized, I didn't know it after What If, but I knew it after God's Not Dead, with the reaction I had from people saying I became a Christian because of your movies. I went, oh, okay, God, this is you. I had to go through what I had to go through at the studios with my agent and manager of many years, because this is the road you wanted them to push me through, but you used them as a catalyst to put me through the door that you were probably knocking on. I just didn't turn that knob because you had no door handle on your side. I said, this is where I got to be. This is what I got to do. And it's been a blessing in so many ways.
Well, you stand for a lot of us as the pinnacle to whom to look up to, because there is so much pushback if we step out of line, and all men are supposed to be toxic. And other than that, they swing to the other side and they're woke. And this is how we're raising our young boys. And I love what you did with your children's book. For young boys, that's brilliant.
Yeah. I've done 2 with them now. I work with Kirk Cameron with Brave Books. Kirk is their main guy with that, but I've gone to libraries to read as well. And there'll be drag queens out there chanting against me for reading a 7-year-old's, and I'm going, sorry, you're not going to groom this group. These kids are going to be mine. These kids are going to be mine. So it's just, like I said, we live in a really mentally ill, confused world right now, filled with so much hate and anger. And the pushback to me is hilarious. If anything, I feel sorry for these people that have so much hate and so much anger that every day they wake up feeling that way. Can you imagine what that's doing to them physically and mentally?
Yes, I wish they knew that. It's unfortunate.
Well, it's evil. It's satanic is what it is.
But they're pushing it down to the young boys who are committing suicide at 10, 11, 12, 13. This is unheard of.
Yeah, look, what we're on right now, the internet, this is an amazing invention. This is amazing we can do this, but there's also so much evil associated with this. I still say the internet's in the Wild West stage. Look, Walt Disney, back in the 1950s, said movies and television will influence our youth for good and for bad. He knew that. He knew that. And Walt Disney, if you look at his movies, they always had good messages in them. Disney has just gone so far crazy. How many more movies do they got to keep making that's woke that this Snow White movie is going to lose like $300 million? As a stockholder, which I'm not, I wouldn't be too happy with what Disney's been doing the
No.
last 5 or 6 years.
No, and their movies are tanking.
Yeah.
So
And
I don't think they're too happy with what they're doing.
they
But
got it, yeah, and they keep doing it, which is weird to me. That just shows you
that's
how
the crazy. Yeah, you're supposed to learn from your mistakes.
yeah, but you know what? I remember the Irwin brothers told me before they came out with all these wonderful movies they've been doing. I did God's Not Dead. Their father said to them, he goes, why don't you guys make movies like that? They're doing quite well. They're doing quite well. I mean, I can only imagine it's still one of my favorite movies as well. It's a wonderful movie. And I know that they're doing The Life of David right now. And I think they finished shooting in Greece. They're doing a miniseries on The Life of David.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Well, we're so excited to have you here. I wrote about you in my book, Real Men Don't Go Woke, and you're one of the guys who stand up despite all the negativity. You stood up, and that makes you what I call a real man. And I talk about your first children's book. I didn't even know that you had a second already. And it's brilliant that you took that adversity and you turned it around to use it into something so positive for our young people. I think that's just brilliant.
Thank you. It's called The Test of Blindhood, and it's about letting boys grow up to be strong men, strong fathers, strong pillars in the community. My second book, which came out almost a year ago now, I think. It came out Father's Day a year ago, and it's called The Bare Essentials of the Father, the importance of fathers in a family.
And they're being pummeled now.
Yeah. Well, look, I put a T-shirt that says Hollywood loves me on it. I was getting laughs out of. My son Braden should actually be on your show. His second book, he's 23 years old. He does a lot of work with Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. His latest book is Embrace Masculinity.
Oh my God, we've got to have him. We've got to talk to him. We really have to talk to him.
You would love what he's doing. He's very busy. He runs the social media for Salem Radio, Dinesh D'Souza. This guy's amazing with the work that he does. Yeah.
So social media for the positive. Sherrie?
Yes.
Wow.
Positive.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
We're just loving the fact that you are out there and that you didn't fold. So many people did, and so many men have done. And that in itself is such an inspiration for men out there who don't know what to do. You are, I said in my book, you're not going to mess with Hercules, are you?
Well, it's just so silly because you know what? They act like a lot of 7th grade mean girls in junior high school is what they act.
That's it, exactly.
It is so pathetic what they do when they attack 7 people. And like I said, they wake up every day to be angry. And we need to pray for people like that. Look, I post something on X. I'll say, hey, beautiful day on the golf course, blah, blah, blah. And I hope you die. I hope that.
Yeah.
What a way to live your life, to wait for me to post so you can post anger at me. I don't care who these people are. I don't give a crap about them. And we should pray for them. But to me, to have that kind of hatred and anger, that they got to wake up. They got to look at themselves in the mirror every day. I don't have to look at people like that.
I'm finding that more and more of our men, and they talk to me on social media, more and more of them are so angry that they don't even want to date anymore. If they're divorced, they don't want to see a woman ever again. And this is the kind of, we're supposed to be communicating through this.
This is education. This is what our kindergarten through university education have done. Yes. My wife fights against that. We're homeschoolers. She's in DC right now talking about that because President Trump wants to get rid of the National Education Board, get rid of them, lose them. Anything run by the government gets destroyed. It does. Everything. I mean, one of my favorite Ronald Reagan quotes is he said, "These are the biggest words to fear. Hi, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help." So we know. You can look at anything they get their hands on. It becomes regulation over regulation over regulation. They wreck everything. And the government was never set up that way. Our founding fathers are flipping in their graves. They're not teaching civics at school at any level because they don't want kids to know it's we the people. They don't want that.
They're hardly teaching reading, writing, arithmetic.
No.
With the scores that we have, anything else.
40th. We ranked 40th. We were #1 in the world in the 50s. We're 40th.
Really to be proud of.
Yeah.
We're out there fighting for you, and we're so glad you're out there fighting for us. Sherrie?
Yeah. Yeah. You're an inspiration, Kevin. You stood up, they kicked you out, but look at you now. You kept going and look at you now. You made it through.
I've shot
So,
over 50,
anyway.
I shot over 50 movies without Hollywood. I don't need them.
There you go. There you go.
I love it.
Yeah. So August 5th, August 7th, What If, coming back right to the theaters.
Yep. Go to fathomentertainment.com or go to What If Movie on Facebook and check it out.
Great. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you.